All right, Christie Sides needs to make some adjustments, okay? Look, when I talk about Coach Sides and the Fever, sometimes some of y'all think I go too easy on her or whatever the case may be. Here's the thing. Do I think she should be fired because of the game against the Lynx? No, I don't think she should be fired because of the game against the Lynx. So let me get that out of the way. Does she need to make some adjustments? Obviously, she needs to make some adjustments after watching this game and really after watching the last several games. The Fever are a fast team. You have to put the fast players in the game. And there are a couple of players in the starting lineup who are not helping things. They're not helping things. And those players are Melissa Smith and Katie Lou Samuelson. Melissa Smith has talent. She's a good rebounder. She, can score at times. But so often it's like she doesn't know what she's doing out there. Or she's not playing with the same motor as everybody else. Or she's not, thinking the game on the same level as everybody else. Katie Lou Samuelson's too slow. She's too slow to play the position she's playing. She doesn't finish enough around the basket. And if she's not making open threes, then she's useless. Meanwhile, you have Lexi Hull, who's played very well. We talked about her three-point shooting, because of the way that last game went when she hit all those threes. And she always plays with energy. She's always moving. Temifek Benley also moves, plays fast. Even Dantas, I thought she did not shoot the ball well, which is a distinction to make. She had some opportunities to really, there was one shot she could have made it a 2-point game and she missed it. And she had some good looks she didn't hit, but I like the way she's playing within the team. I like the physicality she brings. Caitlin Clark started the game slow, did not have a great defensive game. Let's be clear about that too. It was not Clark's best effort on defense, and it was not her best effort to start. But even in a game where that is the case, you still see Caitlin fill up the box score, which is impressive. And Kelsey Mitchell, came out scoring. She's been steady and impressive. And Aaliyah Boston, again, contributed all around, steady and impressive. Clark finished with 23 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. Let's give some credit to the Lynx, too. That is a very good team. A very long, active defensive team that can really shoot the basketball. Obviously, you've got Nafisa. I've talked about her relative to the MVP conversation. Kayla McBride can shoot the basketball. Courtney Williams has that money pull-up. You saw Heidemann try to go at Clark a lot in this game. That's a very good team. So it's not like the Fever, got smoked by some scrubs. They got smoked by a contender. Well, they didn't even get smoked. That was a competitive game. They lost to a contender. And they looked like a team that's close to even for most of that game with the Lynx. One other thing I'll criticize Coach Sides about is when the first action gets shut down. When the first action gets shut down, the secondary action, they don't have a counter for right now, or I don't know what they're doing or they're planning. Because there were sometimes Caitlin was getting trapped, and it didn't look like they knew what to do out of that. Because basically the offense has become get Caitlin Clark the basketball and let her do her thing, which is good. That should be option A. Get Caitlin Clark the basketball and let her do her thing. But what happens when that is taken away by an excellent team like that? What is option B? What are your counters to that? And I think that's something I'd like to see as the season goes forward. Now, again, I don't think Sides should be fired. The team has improved greatly. But I do think Sides needs to make the adjustment and needs to make it quickly. Look, she eventually made the adjustment with Wallace. It may have taken longer than we all wanted, but she did eventually make that adjustment with Christie Wallace. I expect the same thing to happen here. She clearly knows what her best unit is. She closes with it every time. She's been closing with the same group of players. Lexi Hull's been on the floor to close the game. So it's not as if Sides is unaware. She clearly knows. Sometimes, it's tougher for a coach because they're dealing with personnel, they're dealing with players, they're dealing with egos. They got to deliver the message, but it's time. It's time to make those adjustments. And I think that will be the best version of the Fever. I've seen them compared to a Ferrari. They need the speed in there. Because this play right here from Lexi Hull is not something that, Katie Lou Samuelson can do. Getting down the floor the way that she does here. I mean, it's a terrific pass, of course. We know Caitlin can do these with the full court passes. But that's because Hull's also running the floor. And what she can do in that regard. I think, you know, as much as Clark didn't have her best game defensively, one thing we've seen from Caitlin is an adjustment to the physicality, and I don't think she's getting enough credit for her handles because she's got the sauce on these handles. You see it right here on this play, how tight they are against Williams. Woo! Screw it. And there were several times you saw Caitlin take it to the basket strong and finish, or get into the lane, wait for the defender to commit, wait for them to go by, and then go up strong, which is part of the growth process for her. And she's been very effective, I think, taking the ball to the basket. We saw another mid-range pull up in this game. So she started to expand that repertoire. Maybe not enough shots in the second half, but I think part of that's a function of what I was just saying, the Lynx defense. And the Lynx defense taking away what the Fever want to do best, and they haven't gotten that natural counter yet. So this was probably the worst performance for the Fever out of the break, but it was also against the best team that they've faced. Overall, they were 7 of 29 from 3, while the Lynx were 11 of 27 from 3. That's in many ways the difference in the ball game right there. You know, the Fever are a high volume, good three-point shooting team with a lot of shooters. I don't think they played their optimal lineups. Like I said, obviously they didn't shoot the ball as effectively as they would like. Even after the hot start, Kelsey Mitchell was just 2 of 10 from 3. Dantas was 0 of 5 from 3. Samuelson was 0 of 2 from 3. That's going to hurt you just right there. On the other side, you know, McBride was 4 of 10. Carlton was 4 of 6. Heidemann, 2 of 3. So they hit the shots. The Lynx were committed. They were disciplined. They were active, and they canned their shots. The Fever came out a little sluggish. They didn't shoot the ball particularly well, and I don't think Christie sides put the best lineups on the floor to start the game and to start the third quarter. But the good news is there is plenty of time to make those adjustments and those changes. A lot of season still left. The Fever are still in a strong position from a playoff standpoint. They're a game and a half up on the Chicago Sky, but I assume that it looks like the Sky are going to go into a free fall here. The Dream are not as good as the Fever are. The Fever aren't playing the Lynx every night. So I get it. Like with every win, it's yeah! And with every loss, it's like, ah! Pump the brakes on that a little bit. Though I think it's fair to criticize Christie sides. Again, I'm just not going to fire her over this one game. I think that's fair now.